Sreejit, you are muted.
Hello guys, hi. Good evening, all of you, and sorry for making you wait for this. And I hope you enjoyed the rock music out there. So we have with us Debarshi and Sreejit, and it's gonna be really exciting to talk with my juniors out here about their preparation for ISI, and I'm super excited. So first of all, I should start with why they have chosen statistics, because otherwise it doesn't make sense. Like if someone doesn't love statistics, so I will start with the basic question that why statistics? Okay, so tell us about their journey, about your journey. I mean, and also the very interesting thing about them is that they didn't crack IIT Jam for like that crack what I'm using deliberately to so that people can connect. I don't believe in that word. And Also, I think you both has done it in the second time, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, perfect. So that's like, don't lose the hope, guys. Okay, so that's the message out here for today's live, and I will not waste your time, and I will move straight ahead into the questions. So let's get started, guys. Yes. So, why statistics, and what do you really plan to pursue in the future? So, please go ahead with this. I will go in alphabetical order with Debarshi and then on to Srijit. So, Debarshi, please, and I will mute myself, and people will mute themselves except the person who is not talking. Yeah, Debarshi, please go ahead.
So, my story of pursuing statistics is a bit funny or unfamiliar to everyone. That is, in class 12th, I didn't have statistics. In West Bengal board, usually we have the option to take statistics, but in our school, it was not there. So, I didn't have. Uh, Among my subjects, I like mathematics and physics, and I was like diehard. I will go for physics honors only. And mathematics is okay. I loved mathematics really. Otherwise, physics is also tough if you don't love mathematics. So the teachers who were my maths teachers, when I was applying for different streams in different tried to go to maths, but my
Is Debashi's net disconnected for some time, Srijit?
Yes.
Debashi, can you just repeat like after some time because your net was disconnected? Yep.
till how much did you listen?
So you told about you were applying for different streams.
Yes, yeah. So my mathematics teachers itself told me to, if you love maths, you should apply for. If you like to solve problems, you should apply for statistics. So that's the main issue. And so in St. Xavier's College, I applied in both physics and statistics. What the funny thing was, in the main list, my father's name came. It was not my name. It was my father's name by some technical glitch on our end or their end, whatever it may be. Then I went to the college and I was very disturbed at that time during the admissions between 12th to BSc. Everybody remains. And when the lecturer went, he told, uh, if your name is, if there is some problem in name, it will affect your future. So I just didn't think about anything and took statistics blindly. And then I started to enjoy from, I will not say from the very beginning, but from the second semester onwards, I started to enjoy the subject and fall in love with it really, really. And the most interesting part was our when our struggling journey after that. That is the main part where we fell in love with statistics in our college days. So that's it.
So Devarshi, I
And
think you had a lot of network issues. So if you think it's okay without your video, you can also talk without your video on. Okay, so it's totally fine. And yes, so okay, yeah, I think yeah. So let's move on to the next. I mean, let's move on to Srijit without. I think what Devarshi, there was some technical glitch, and I think he finally like in the subject he has chosen, and he finally went on to love statistics. So that's the base point. So you are planning to pursue PhD or job or not decided yet, Devarshi?
for the time being, I would love to go for PhD only and not think of job currently.
Okay, perfect. So let's move on to Srijit now. And yes, so Srijit, welcoming Srijit. So Srijit, so tell me about why you love statistics and what do you plan to do in the future, and how did you
So,
fall in love with it?
so the first thing that's worth mentioning, how I came pursuing statistics. So yeah, after tenth, I was just looking for any way to avoid biology. I never liked biology or life sciences, so I just wanted not to study that paper. That was the sole motive. So I was just wondering what my options are. So one day I was discussing with my physics teacher, sir, what should I take? And he suggested that, how good are you with mathematics? I said, sir, I would love to say that pretty decent. Then he gave me two problems. They solve these. So apparently I solved those problems, and then he said, okay, so you can actually go for statistics. I think your base of mathematics is okay, so you can pursue statistics. And then he further motivated me by saying that, see, this is the size of the book, and you would study this book for 2 years. And I was more than happy because biology books are like this big. So yeah, no logic apparently, but I then took statistics and started some coaching and all. And then as time went on, I fell in love with statistics to that extent that after completing my HS, I felt like if I am to do any honors, I would do that in statistics only. And that's why I took statistics honors. And then now I am thinking about pursuing a PhD. Let's see how that goes.
Perfect, perfect, superb, guys. So, yeah, so I'm so glad to hear your journeys. So let's move on to the next question, guys. And yep. So about me, how I fell in love with statistics. I never wanted to learn statistics per se, but I wanted to learn mathematics and pursue mathematics. And somehow down the lane, I fell in love with applied stuff of mathematics. So that kind of led me to into statistics. So it's like I should say yeah, so connecting the dot backwards, I can say. I cannot tell why connecting the dots forward. So so yeah, so when did you start preparing for ISI MStat? So that's the next question. Let me,
Srijit,
yeah,
is my voice clear now?
it's better,
I
no?
connected to a different network. That's why.
Okay, okay, it's better, let's see. So the next question we have is that when did you start preparing for ISIM start? Yep. Deboshi.
For me, I started preparing for MStat like exclusively that I want to prepare for ISI.
And I mean, when do you think you started actually mentally? That's it.
Me-
I mean, I mean
mentally,
you.
yeah, mentally I started. I would say semester four of our BSc course, around semester four, because really convinced that I am able to grasp the subject very well. And my one of my professors also told me, not only me, to some of our batchmates, that you should make it to ISI. You guys should make it to ISI. Like I am not saying that ISI should be the motive, institute should be the motive of a student,
I think Deboshi, you are facing some network issues, so maybe
yeah,
you
yes,
can.
camera, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Please go ahead. Yeah.
And after that, the formal preparation was from around April 2020. Yes.
April 2020. So you think the preparation for ISI and IIT can be done together?
I personally think the way I have studied, there is no need to prepare separately. Like should be just the last 6 months to get habituated with the pattern of the exam, which is different for ISA and different for IIT. So that's the main difference. But the main thing is to keep the semester.
Oh, okay, perfect. There was one small suggestion. I don't know why the network is not working well. You may try changing positions in your place, okay? So that yeah, so that yeah. So just like I don't know why it's happening. Is it me or Srijit? It's just it's generally happening the issue. No,
Sometimes
no.
your video is going. Srijit is okay.
Okay. So okay, perfect. What Deboshi actually told, like he started preparing, and he thinks that ISI and IIT preparation is not separate, but I think ISI ka subset is IIT. What he told actually. So do you agree with this, Srijit?
Yeah, I would agree with this. Basically, what I would like to add is that the basic things are just the theories. If you get your concepts right, then getting prepared for any exam is just getting habituated with the pattern of that exam for the last few days, or last few, not last few days, for the last few months. And getting the concepts ready beforehand is much more important than just solving question papers.
Okay. Yeah. I totally agree with this. I think Devoshi also agrees with this. Yep. So let's move on to the next question of our life. Yeah, so like, mm, let's say I should say we should move on to a much more important question. Like, how did you start your preparation? And yes, there are some network issues, Shudipta. Or Shudipto, we are trying to fix that as soon as possible. So yeah. So the next question is that share your preparation journey as much detail as you can. I think we should move on to Devoshi first, and then we can move on to Srijit as the yeah. Please go ahead, Devoshi.
Okay, I audible properly now?
So I think I couldn't hear that properly. Ka RLY. Okay. So
Okay,
yep.
okay. Okay, then I repeat.
Okay,
Different network.
Srijit
Yes.
can continue and Debarshi can join. Or I think is it my issue? Srijit, everything is fine. Or did you turn off your video, Srijit?
Hello, Srijita. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, did you turn off your video or is it my network issue?
Yeah.
Just give.
Yeah. Deborshi, Deborshi, hello.
So
Hmm.
Sreejit, I think you can move ahead with your preparation journey. I think Deboshi can tune in when everything is fine with at his end. Yeah.
Okay. So about preparation journey, right? So where to start? So basically, around say what April or May 2020, 2019. Yeah. So that's when I started. I was in second year of college. So by that time, I was just trying to getting the concepts that would be very much required for the exams ready, and I was just making some handwritten notes these concepts are important and trying to derive things and all, and just usual stuff that everyone does. At then around I would say November 2019. So exams were approaching. We had IIT around I don't remember properly. I think February 2020 was the jam. So around November 2019, I started solving some previous papers and also just going through the theories again and just doing those. And then uh, actually, I was not well aware of how to approach the exam because I lacked proper guidance in that matter. And then jam happened, and I was thinking that okay, so I do not deserve this, or I'm not a good student because I had a very bad exam. And then I was just thinking that okay, maybe this is not my cup of tea, and just not feeling very well about that. But then some of my friends said that see, this is not the end of your life, right? You have not cracked this, it doesn't matter. If you are motivated enough, you will achieve something someday in your life, right? If you are motivated enough. And then with that I started preparing for the next big exam that is coming, ISI, and other exams also. So and around that time COVID happened, and everything was just changed forever for worse, obviously. And then I completely felt off track during that time. That was just not a good time to say. But still I would not say that that is the sole reason for not cracking ISI in the first try. I tried my best, but I couldn't crack that. That is a thing for 2020. I couldn't crack ISI in 2020. But after that I felt that okay, let's give it another try. I think because in the exam hall when I was doing the problems, I felt that okay, I can do this. Yeah, this struck me in the exam hall. And then after the exam I felt like I this maybe I will not crack this year, maybe. So when the results arrived, it was obviously confirmed that I couldn't crack that year, but I felt like if I try, maybe I can crack the next year. So then I just what tried for the next ISI exam, next MStat exam, the next year, 2021. And that was my only goal during that entire what 7 8 months. And that's I think that's about it.
Okay, so my question is that like, how did you during that time you prepared yourself, right, Srijit? So what are the things you did during that time? Like, what are the things you want your juniors who are self-studying to prepare themselves? Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay. So after giving the MStat exam for the first time, what I felt that what I lack is practice. Right, that's what I realized. And therefore while preparing for the exam, I would always go in this pattern. I would study one topic, and then I would just bring out the previous year papers, and then try to solve as much problems as possible related to that topic. And then I would repeat those for topic from topic to topic. And then after I was done with at least all of the topics, I would move to solving each question paper in one sitting.
Okay, I mean past the question paper, you mean?
Yeah, past question papers. Yeah, I
So
tried
did you
solving.
give IIT Jam the next time also, next year
No,
also?
I
No,
didn't.
no,
Okay,
no.
We
okay.
both didn't actually.
I will come to this. If my voice is audible properly, I will come to the story regarding this IIT Jam.
Y- Yeah, I will just come to you. I think you're better audible now. So Sreejit, is yours like anything you want to add? What you like? You search, did the questions and you did the past year questions. You did the topic at one go, and then
And then one thing I would like to point out that during the last week, don't go through old question papers. During the last week, just if you feel like reading, just go through the concepts once maybe, because otherwise you would be bogged down with that fear, like what will happen. So just the last week, don't just skip say 1 month or so. That would be obviously harmful. Last 5 6 days is just don't take much pressure. Be as cool as you can.
perfect. Okay, so let's move on to Devotion now. I think he is totally fine with his network. I hope so. And
Yes.
Devotion, yeah, I think the dais is yours. So please go ahead and enlighten your
Okay,
audience.
so regarding the first time, like I appeared in MStat twice, 2020 and 21. I got admitted in 21, but definitely my 2020, I was a lot more satisfied after the exam in 2020. So what happened, like when I start, my story goes on the same lines with Srijit, that after jam, when the results came out, my exam was not good, my rank was not good. So I started to think, no, ISI is not my cup of tea. I can't crack an MCQ exam. How can I do those descriptive questions in those 2 hours? But after that, I started solving the papers. Yeah, I solved them. But again, I thought, I am solving this at home. How can I solve 6 new questions there? That is not my cup of tea. I am solving through 3 or 4 months. I am solving at home. I couldn't do there. I will be not. I will surely not be able to do there. But on the day of ISI MStat entrance, uh, the MCQ part was fine. It was relatively easier, and it is my very bad habit to answer easy questions wrongly. I did that with consistently since my school days. And in the PSP part, I solved 6 questions like with ease. Like I found this is not something which is not like I will be not able to do, or it was very tough. Like I may not have solved 6 questions perfectly, but at least 4 out of 6 questions struck in my mind right at the first go. So after coming out of the exam hall, I thought that whatever may be the result, I will give this exam till I crack it. I'll study MSc somewhere, but each year I will appear for this exam because that exam gave me a kick somewhere. Like for Srijit also it was the same, and we again and again we are telling that we both wanted to study statistics and not at ISI, not necessarily at ISI. We wanted to, like, we didn't get ISI, so we were sure that we will go to University of Calcutta. Like academic background for statistics is outstanding there also at University of Calcutta, the professors and everything. But in our year there was no entrance exam, and our graduation marks was not enough to get into CU. So, and by the time CU list came out, the last date of filling up jam examination form was over, so we could not fill that form also. So our main motive was not to repeat the year but just to give the exam for fun. This was up till March, we can say. Yeah, from March, when we again started to prepare, we thought that we will give it for fun only because we like the exam, we love the exam. It is more than an exam, so we'll give it. But when we started preparing, we became serious. No, this is, I have to do something now. Like when you solve a tough question, you automatically get motivated. Hence, again, so that 2.5 hours to 3 hour calls, Google Meets, and everything went on between him and me, and some of my other friends also. So that was a very, very beautiful time, that 4 to 5 months period.
Yes, I think group study is a very, very important
Really
portion
important.
in preparing. I mean, not only preparing, but preparing in an enjoyable way. It seems like,
Enjoyable.
yeah, it's like winning
Yes.
a war together, okay, as a nation. Like, it feels good as
Yes,
a team, okay,
definitely.
winning as a team. Yeah, please
And
go ahead. I'm
it's
sorry for
more
cutting in.
important in ISI MStat since the solutions are not available. And like in JAM, you can solve question papers and get habituated to the pattern. But in ISI MStat, we should solve the past year question papers, definitely. But the motive of solving the past year papers is not that we are getting habituated with the pattern. It is solely to increase our thinking capacity. It is solely like that's why group study is important. Like I may think a problem in one way, you or he, Srijit, may think it in some other way. That's what is needed for ISI MStat. It is a completely different type of exam. Let's take an unknown number n. Okay, suppose uh, random student x practice n problems. For Srijit, that n may be 1000. For it, me n may be 2000, or for someone n may be 10 lakh. Whatever n may be, irrespective of that, ISI will come up with the n plus 1th problem with probability 1. So you cannot do anything by just practicing. You have to increase your thinking capacity. That's the main motive. I tell each and everyone who asks me that your motive should be increasing your thinking capacity and not just getting the solutions. I tell everyone just you try each problem at least for 15 days because you will get the solution. I can give you the solution, but that's not the solution for the exam. You have to do it yourselves there, and there will be a new problem with probability 1, definitely. So this was my
Yeah,
take
this
up.
was pretty awesome, like how you dealt with it. So I think an important part in the journey, as I felt, okay, is see, I didn't give ISI MStat because I moved from my B stat to MStat. I didn't give that examination, but when I started solving the questions for the solutions out there, I really felt so good. Okay, it's like it consists of natural questions like this, like, you know um so if you remember that Cheetos or any chips pack, jisme you got some gifts, okay? So there are four
Yes.
gifts, and there was a problem in one of the years that how many times you have to buy, like what is the expected number of time to buy the
Yes.
number of chips? Number of chips you have to buy to get all the distinct number of
Yes. Yes.
toys
Yes.
with that, yeah. So that was so good. I felt like no, I will solve all the questions for the students and like as much as I can, and I try to enjoy the process. So the I think an important aspect of preparing for ISI MStat is to fall in love with like learning and preparing for it, and that's an important part which is not equivalent to IIT Jam. But IIT Jam ka preparation, if you do it in the way, like if you solve the IDM ka questions in the subjective style all along the years except the last 2 3 months, I think that can really help and boost
Yeah.
your preparation for ISI
Yes.
MStat. What do you
And it
think?
will give an extra advantage to your ISI instead also,
Yes,
which
so
student may not understand before JAM, but while ISI instead they will definitely understand. Like we were ourselves not convinced at that time. We will not deny it. We were ourselves not convinced that we should practice ISI MStat style before JAM. We that's very natural. But after that, we felt that yeah, we should have done.
so regarding the style and all this stuff, so the school system and entire system has ruined our basics, okay, and roots of how we do it. So there is no style as per se, okay. I mean, I should say that. Yes, I mean, this is what I personally think. I don't know what other people think about this. That by style, I mean, you should always learn and do the problems in as much it's so that it blooms your mind, okay. So that's our my core principle while I'm studying something, even I'm doing something research or whatever. So and I think that is the best way to learn and enjoy something, because it can happen like just by 1 marks or point 0.5 marks you cannot get the rank. After all, there are some certain sets, but it doesn't mean that you are not good. So and it's an example that they didn't crack it the first time, but they cracked it the second time just because of the sheer passion. Okay, so that's why I'm so grateful to them that they at least showed their passion to the students out here. So thank you so much, guys, for
And
your
like
my
you mentioned that slight difference, we have an example for that. In
Yeah,
2020, uh, last admitted candidate was probably Ritik, if I remember. His rank was 22, and the Shagor's rank was 23. So I can understand his pain. And in 2021, Shagor was the AIR one. So that's a great example. Also, Shagor is our classmate now. So he missed by one rank, and in the next year he was All India rank one. So that's also a great story.
perfect. Okay, I could have talked to him and bring him on live. Let's see if I can bring him if he's free. Okay, so yeah, so that's really so, I mean, that's really close to my heart because yeah, because you have showed your passion. That's what I stand for learning. Okay, so thank you guys for doing this. I mean, just from a personal level. So yeah, so coming back to the preparation which students are here to listen for, is that yep, so what did you do in the last 3 months, like, what did you do because after the jam mostly? So what do you think the people should do, students should do after the jam? Yeah, for ISI MStat. Deboshi first, and then we can come to Sri.
Okay, I
Sri is
think
a
now
bit quiet.
my voice is fine, right?
Yeah,
I think.
everything is fine. Yeah.
Okay, so in the last 3 months, like I don't exactly remember, but till before 1 month, I practiced everything. I went through the question papers. I tried to read as many books as possible. To be honest, in the last month, I was very much tensed because I got so much involved in the preparation, and again, I started to expect something from the exam. So, as Srijit had mentioned earlier, in the last week you should not go through all the problems again. It may bring down your confidence. So that is very true. So I was mm, seeing video lectures. I was reading new books which I haven't read before, like statistics books only. But suppose I have learned it from some concept from Kessela Barger, I was going on reading Blitzstein or reading Rohat Gisale, because uh, what is the advantage of this is we get to know a different way of thinking, a different approach. So that's what I felt I should do, and it made my mind relaxed also. Reading books makes my mind relaxed, so that's what I did. I read new books, watched video tutorials of Gilbert Strang, Blitzstein, and like this I spent my last month.
Perfect, perfect. That's a perfect example, guys, for passion and blooming your mind. Okay, that's what ISI stands for, I guess, personally to me. So Srijit, what did you do? Did you play FIFA or PACE? What did you do?
Yeah, I'm very fond of FIFA actually. Nice that you bring that up. Uh, but no, I didn't actually. Uh, More or less, my last 3 months were same, just like Deborshi. Huh. And what I did, I just tried to read things and solve papers, and that's about it. And then what I also did is take some long walks. I like to walk around Kolkata. I would just get out around 4 or 5 in the evening and take a long walk, maybe for 2 or 3 hours, and then get back to the house. And I think that freshens up my mind in some way. I just like to roam around the city, and yeah, that freshens my mind up. And then I would just get back, and maybe sometimes this also happened, like I was thinking about a problem, how to solve this problem, how to approach this problem, and I was not getting how to do this. I was stuck with the problem, and then I was like, okay, just leave it, let's just get out for the walk, and when I come back I would sit with this problem again. But while walking, suddenly the solution struck my mind. Like it was just like, okay, that's just a very what like a eureka moment. Like this just stuck while walking, and then I would just immediately try to what I have a bad habit of forgetting things. Okay, sometimes I forget very basic things in a very naive manner. Therefore, whenever something like that struck in my mind, we have the ease of phones in our hands nowadays. So I would just make a quick WhatsApp note to myself that this is how, or maybe if possible a voice note, and then I would get back and what pen down that problem, pen down that solution, and yeah, that's it. Also, I used to call Deborshi and some other people a lot. Like Deborshi and I would talk for maybe 2.5 hours non-stop regarding some problems or how to approach something during those last 3 months and beyond.
Okay, perfect. So it seems like those eureka moments and discovering something while walking doesn't happen to only Einstein and people like them. They also happens to normal people like me and you. So that's good actually. That's a very good. I mean, it really works. So okay, perfect. So thank you so much for sharing your own personal journey about this. And now I think students are really hoping forward to look for the books and online resources and whatever used for your preparation. So one very main question that I get as a teacher and as a senior when people start preparing is that how do you practice writing stuff? Because they have always people have habit, like if you give a pen to them, they have a habit of ticking instead of writing. Okay, so how do you remove that ticking and transforming that ticking habit to a writing habit? I mean, how do people think and approach a problem like a subjective problem rather than an objective problem? So that's my question to you.
Properly writing is very important. Like sometimes this happens, like we can understand what the solution would be, but we cannot properly pen down the solution. That also happens. But the main thing is you have to keep in mind that you have to write down the solutions every chance you get, even when you are solving say one MCQ. Just try to write down, maybe not like everything from this theorem we get this and all, but just try to write down the things what is happening. This helps a lot. And also, properly sequencing, properly structuring the solutions is very important. And for that, what happens, what helps for that, reading books help a lot. Like if you are going through a book, you can understand how those people are structuring the things, but that's not something that happens with notes. I have personally felt that, but maybe the opinion may vary from people to people. But getting used to the structure of writing, books help in that regard.
Oh, perfect. I will come to Devoshi. Suddenly, some thought came to my mind. It's like yesterday, my nephew, like my brother, came over. Sorry, and he's studying film. Okay, so I asked him, and he brought a book. I forgot the name of the book. It was Camera Lucida, something like that. He's a photographer also. So, and I was asking him, how to write book, how to be a good writer. So he told me, why don't you read books? I think reading books makes you understand the process of writing and how to write like your favorite author. So I think mathematics comes to a language here. Okay, so it's like once you read the books of the people out there, you learn the language of mathematics and you fall in love with the language of mathematics. So I think that's that's how we understand the language. Okay, so more than the techniques. Do you agree with this, Devoshi, Sreejit? Like, it's my personal, I mean,
Yes,
experience.
definitely. As I mentioned before, also like reading books gives you a like unimaginable exposure. Like you will not get it now, but if you are studying BSc, like you will feel that okay, I'm studying class notes, that is sufficing for my exam. Then what is the advantage of reading these books? But after 5 years, maybe after getting into masters, you can feel that extension of the horizon of knowledge which happens, that helps really, that helps very much, because you can't remember everything. Like you should have like we can remember formulas for exam, but after the exam is done, if we just remember them for giving exam, they will not stay in our mind. And when a teacher asks in class, we will forget that. But behind every formula, there should be intuition. There should be a logic. Like every time, like Srijit has a very bad habit of forgetting. He has told that. So he used to forget very trivial formulas and ask me. And this helped me a lot, this his forgetting habit. That whenever I tell him a formula, he asks me what is the logic behind this formula. So I had to explain to him that this is the logic behind this formula, so this should happen. So we both were benefited by this. So one thing, your even some of your negative qualities have a positive impact on you.
This is such a good example of group studying, guys. I am so in love with it. Okay, so I hope people do it. Okay, form small groups and discuss among yourself. Don't join coaching. Okay, just do it yourself, guys. You can do it yourself, and that's the best idea of it. If you can do it yourself, I mean, that's the best thing. You will enjoy it much more. Okay, so okay, so the next question I should say is any free online resources that you want to share that really helped you in the preparation journey and learning, like books and everything. Oh, by the way, regarding writing of mathematics, I don't know if you know about Donald Knuth or not. He's a famous computer scientist.
No,
Okay,
no, no.
okay, so I will share a book of his. I will share the screen, and it's a beautiful book written by him. And you can read this book. It's like if you enjoy it, that's it. Okay, that's the suggestion of it. Here it's like he has written about mathematical writing, which is very important for the holistic approach towards uh, doing the problems in statistics and mathematics. Okay, so that's what I can say. So, anyways, let's move on. We are giving too much gyans. Um, let's just give me a minute. How do I remove this? Okay, perfect. So let's move to the next question, guys. Yeah, any online resources? Yep, yep, yep.
Okay,
Or books or whatever. Deborshi and Sri, anyone can start, and the other one can just take over.
okay.
Devotion.
So I'm starting. Like since I and Sreejit have prepared together, so our resources are almost same. So I will share a part of it, and he will share a part of it. For me, after that 2020 COVID times, what we did was we both tried to learn from some different resources which we had not learned in our undergraduate level. So what I did was I tried to find out video tutorials if they are available or not. Like I heard about MIT OpenCourseware. So I thought, and I just went on and went through the whole playlist of Gilbert Strang linear algebra. So that just opened my mind onto a different level on linear algebra, how to visualize that, how to apply it in multivariate statistics, machine learning, and everything. And what Sreejit has immense knowledge in books. Like there are very less books in the history of statistics about which Sreejit doesn't know. He knows about almost every book in statistics. So for probability, I will say you can watch the video lectures of Professor Joseph Blitzstein. That is a 35 videos lecture. It was taught at Harvard University in the year 2006. Statistics 10110. That is the name of the course. It is available on the YouTube channel. Okay, you can watch that. For calculus, I haven't, like for the parts which are available, which are in the syllabus of MStat, I haven't yet found any such good book in our undergraduate or uh, good video lectures. For linear algebra, like if you don't have much time in hand, you can go through the playlist of 3 Blue 1 Brown, Essence of Linear Algebra. That's a tremendous playlist. Only 15 to 16 videos are there, short videos, but the animations are so beautiful that you cannot forget that. You cannot forget that. Srijit has also seen that, he knows everything. And for calculus, you can see that Essence of Calculus, same channel, you can see that part. And if you have much time in hand, you should definitely watch that Gilbert Strang Linear Algebra. And regarding books, we both are a big fan of statistical inference, and Kessler has always been our favorite book for inference. And for that probability, I will say that SM Ross is a good book to start with for the classical probability. And then for that modes of convergence part, Rohatgi is a very good book, and overall Rohatgi is a very good book for revision because many results are just stated there. So
Proof is
you,
left as an exercise.
which is left as an exercise or which is trivial for the reader, everything like that. So Rohatgi is a very good book for revision and for problem solving also. And if you want tough problems, you can see Moongrabil Boys or Feller, obviously. And now I'm going to mention some not so discussed books. That is the Outline of Statistical Theory, Volume 1 2, and the Fundamentals of Statistical Theory, Volume 1 2. Like these are was like a necessity to us. Like we had learned a lot from this book. Like for me, you should definitely start with this book.
Also
Start your
Goon,
learning with this book.
also Goon Roy.
Also,
Goon.
I think maximum people don't know about this book. There is a small book called Problems in Probability Theory by A.M. Gun and Debesh Roy. PDF is not available. You will get it in College Street, but that's a beautiful collection of problems. Like some problems from outline, some problems from Rohatgi, and they give the hints also. So if you can complete that book, I will say that you have got 35 to 40% kickstart for your MStat. Like to start with, you should definitely solve the problems of that book, Problems in Probability Theory, Aim Gun and Debesh Roy, that book. And now regarding books, Srijit,
Can
you
you
can
just spell
explain
me, share the name once again? Problems in Probability Theory by?
A.M. Gun and Debesh Roy.
So there are a lot of good statistical societies in the colleges. I know about Presidency College. They have a predict
Yes,
society.
predict, yes,
They
predict.
collect a lot of beautiful books out there. So I will just go to them if they have the book. Then if I get the PDF, I will ask them to share. So yeah, I will ask Shamo maybe. So Devesh Roy. Um,
PDF is not available as far as we know. PDF is not available for this book. But it's a very small book and it doesn't cost much. And it will stay with you for lifetime because it contains such problems which has got direct applications in MStat problems, which has
Yeah.
got direct
And
applications.
also, this book has collected problems from some books that are not easily available now. So, like, this is one of those resources where some of the finest problems in probability are just collected. And yeah. And also, like, in the books, while they're discussing or while they're referring a problem, they would just write the name of the book where they have collected this problem from. And that also helps, if you are interested in books, then you can look for that book also, and get down that rabbit hole, and what maybe explore more problems also. And regarding linear algebra book, Rao Bhimashankaram helped a lot in preparing. And I would like to point out a story that Devorshi obviously knows. Like, just 5 months before the exam, I was telling him that I have forgotten everything about linear algebra, and I am in a very bad position regarding linear algebra. What should I do? So Devoshi suggested that, okay, so I think you have Rao Bhima Shankaram with you, right? I said yes. And then he said that there is this one page, you solve all the if you can solve all the problems in this page, then you should think that you would be able to solve linear algebra problems in the exam. And I then maybe 1 week later I started doing Rao Shankaram from the beginning, and I tried reading the theory and then solving the problems. Also, one thing I would like to add: while going through a book, there are some examples done in a book. Don't read the examples, write the examples. That would also give a good writing habit. Like, see, if you are looking at the example, read whatever is written, write that. Even you can even you can copy that, but write the examples. That would help. So then I just went up to that page, and I saw that yes, I can solve the problems in this page. And I went further beyond that page, and yeah, I learned most of my linear algebra from Rao Shankaram. And
So it
also,
is not a secret. That page
huh?
number is 100. If anyone wants to know,
Yeah,
that is
yeah,
page
page
number
number is
100 of
100.
Ravin Shankar.
Page number 100 of Rao
It's
Shankar.
the most adventurous page of linear algebra I have ever went through. Page number 100 of Ravin Shankar.
Yeah. And also for inference, Castle-Berger, like Castle-Berger sounds like it is a fancy book. It may be hard for you. It sounds like that. But Castle-Berger has explained the concepts in a very, very good way. Like, it would, while going through the book, it would always feel like they're talking to you. They're talking to you. They're conveying you a story. That's what I felt while reading Castle Berger. I got a lot of statistical intuition about inference while reading Castle Berger. And for probability, I always just maybe went through the theory from any book and would just solve Goon Rai. Yeah. And for calculus, one book, I don't think anyone would get this book very easily. So I don't remember the writers. Just give me one second. Okay, let me bring out that book.
So I'm just curious. Do you know about Professor A.M. Goon and Debesh Roy? Are they still alive, or do you
No,
know where they?
Aim passed away last year.
A.M. Gun passed away last year.
Passed away last year.
Okay, and Debesh Roy, Professor Debesh Roy.
I don't correctly remember. Like,
Actually,
I
when I'm
would.
searching Debesh Roy, I'm getting a Bengali writer and scholar from India. He was the Shahid Academy who won the novel, who have written the academy like award-winning novel Tistar Pare Brittanto.
No, probably this is not the same Devesh we were
Okay,
talking
this
about.
is the Gun Rai book. Hmm. And yeah, it is about Debesh Rai. It is written that MSc PhD had been a teacher in Presidency College for about 12 years, then served in Holdia Government College till 2005. Currently, he holds an administrative post in the Education Directorate, West Bengal Government. Nevertheless, he remains a promisingly young researcher in the area of survey sampling.
Bah,
And
perfect.
for calculus, these two books, I yeah, these are differential calculus by B.C. Das and B.N. Mukherjee, and integral calculus by the same authors. So you have to collect the edition of uh, okay, before 1983. You have to search for an edition before 1983. You cannot buy the recent editions of this book for calculus. Those two books are gems. Like they are like what
Yes,
Gitas of
Dash,
calculus.
Dash Mukherjee is a gem, really.
Yeah.
Can you just share the names? Differential calculus and integral calculus by?
B.C. Das and B.N. Mukherjee.
See, I will ask Predict if I can get these books from them. That will be really good. B and Mukherjee, right? I'm just
Yeah,
writing
B.N.
them.
Yeah.
So if they can get it from it, I will share it online. And yep. So that's it. So okay. So just give me a moment. My mom, the habits of parents, they come and disturb you in the middle of life. That is very irritating. But yeah. Okay. So let's move on to the next. Let's move on to the next question. Thank you guys for these beautiful books. I didn't know about them. Okay. So
Also, one
okay.
thing I would just like to add before we move on to the next question. Remember the name Library Genesis. For everyone, I'm telling this. Library Genesis will be your savior throughout your life if you stick to academics or
You don't know, Sri, you're doing a crime online. Okay, and you're
yeah.
putting me into
I
trouble.
know.
So, yeah. So, but it's okay. I mean, don't use that. Okay, don't use that site. It's a very pretty bad site.
Yeah, yeah.
I am not
Uh,
recommending it.
yeah, yeah. Recommend it. Like, yeah, yeah.
So,
Don't.
yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Okay, he just joked. Okay, so next question is that don't put him in behind the bars. Okay, so I think Sahil has a very important question. What are the best sources to cover design of experiment portion?
Montgomery is a good read. Apart from that, yeah, whatever I learned in design of experiment, Montgomery is the reference I used most of the time. And Devoshi?
Yeah, we learned from Montgomery only. We didn't learn design of experiments. Like for both of us, design of experiments is not our favorite subject, not a subject we have learned very well. But yeah, to refer to, Montgomery is good. And for a shorter version or for a compact version or to start with, you can see Fundamentals Volume 2 also. That is quite crisp. You can see that. And for elaborate, beautiful explanations, you can see the Montgomery.
Okay, perfect. So Montgomery is the only suggestion. So let's move on to the next topic. So books have all been done. So before I move on to the next topic, my important question that I think I Deboshi and me had a talk, like after giving the IIT jam, people are really sad, okay, if they didn't give it well. So what do you think that time Deboshi told me like he really want to say about it in the live and to the students, share to the students that how to manage during this time and what should be in the mind. So can you please share Deboshi and Srijit, like what goes on in your mind and how to deal with it? Yeah.
Yes, definitely. I would share that because lots of people had asked me, and I have went through this situation too. So after IIT Jam, like there are two groups of people. One who have uh, got a place in IIT, and one who haven't. So the one who have got the place in IIT, they are naturally happy. They should be. But to those one who haven't, I would like to say that it may sound like cliche, like everyone tells this to you that don't panic, you will get to somewhere good. But I want to give you two examples only, that if you even don't make it to IIT, that's not the end of life. Seriously, like anyone may say that I have got into a premier institute, so I am saying this. But no, you can verify from anyone that even before getting into ISI, that 1 year period, I used to say the same things. That if you don't get into IT, neither in academia or neither in industry, you have lost your future. There is future. There are universities where we have examples, we have friends, we have seniors. Apart from IIT ISI, they have got outstanding placements and they have done something remarkable in academia too. So after a point of time, the name of the institute really doesn't matter. We have examples that, and we are not telling it out of the blue. Srijit knows, I also know that we have seen these happen. Like from, I will not take the name, but from very so-called renowned institutes, also I have seen that people are not getting some basic definitions. And from a not so-called famous institute, someone is doing something uh, like which was really unexpected. And it happens every year, not like it is an exception. This happens every year. So your goal should be the subject. You don't go through the medium or go through the institute. At any institute, you can do it. Just fix your goal. And maybe this COVID will go, but this COVID has shown us a thing that this tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, these are really secondary things. This, like COVID will go, but this impact of COVID, I think, will remain for the next 40 to 50 years. It has opened up the world very much. Like, I think Srijitda will also agree to me. Before COVID, he was not so active on LinkedIn. But after he became active on LinkedIn, he came to know about a lot of things. Like usually ISI BStat people has a greater exposure than other colleges, but I think he will also admit that he got even a greater exposure after getting active on LinkedIn in this COVID scenario. So yeah, so yes, you will be sad for some days, and that is natural because you have prepared hard for the examination. If your examination doesn't go well, you will be sad. Yes, but try to recover as soon as possible and concentrate on what is in future. You cannot change the past, right? These are things everyone says, so I will not say this anymore.
Yeah, so I think Sri has the same view also. So it's one person, Shivanjan. He's interested in where you have done from your BSc from. I think Xavier's, right? Both
Yes,
of
both
you.
of us. Yeah, both of us.
Perfect. Yep. Mm, Okay, so let's move on to the next question. So I think they have pretty much told everything. I think the only difference is in the mindset and how to write the exam in the questions. Okay, you can even try writing the IIT Jam questions in subjective format. That will only make the difference. Okay, and your passion will. Okay, and it's okay if you don't get into IIS and IIT. I know very beautiful knowledge people who are really good and institute doesn't matter actually. So it really doesn't matter. Okay. So the last question that I have on my mind is that how did you attempt the question paper? And this is a very cliche question and in the exam oriented question, but students wants to know. Did you apply any strategy for it? Because there is existing strategy for IIT Jam. Does there exist a strategy for ISI MStat? What do you think? How many?
This
I think, yeah. How many questions you should do in the question? But I think that's a better question. Yeah.
Okay, so there are 30 questions in PSA part, and you have to attempt 6 in PSB. So generally, we don't know the cutoff, but from a rough estimate, what I can say is there is a certain number of certain marks in PSA. If you score that marks, then only your PSP paper will be checked. But generally, that marks is 52 to 55 in 120, so that shouldn't be a problem. But obviously, you should try to maximize your marks there. And for me personally, what I did was my stat part was much stronger than my maths part. So usually the last 15 questions they are from statistics and the first 15 questions they are from mathematics. Usually this happens. So what I did was in both the times I just went to question number 16 and started solving from there onwards. So once you get the pace, you get the confidence that yes, I am able to solve it. You will be able to solve around 20 to 23 questions depending on the difficulty level. Yeah, around 20 to 23 questions, it's fine. And for the PSB, like this year, the question paper was tough, but the last year in 2020, it was easier. I think you should always attempt 6 questions, always attempt 6 questions, and at least 4.5 to 5 questions correct would be a safe bet. Because since I don't know about the cutoff, so 4.5 to 5 questions should be a safe bet in any scenario. And what I mean by attempt is ISI doesn't expect that you will write everything perfectly. Write whatever you know, whatever approach you know. Just write what you are thinking. They want to know your way of thinking. Is your approach correct or logical or not? Even if you are feeling something like yes, this approach I am going through, but this approach is wrong due to this reason, and so I should go through this approach. Write that also. Whatever you know, write in the PSP paper. Whatever you know, take 50
I
to 60 pages if needed. But
I would like to point out one thing regarding what Debarshi said. Like Debarshi also knows, there was this question in our paper which asked us to calculate some kind of a generalized inverse. Obviously, generalized inverse was not mentioned, and the thing was given, and we were to find this, right? So I solved that question. I actually didn't solve the question. I just wrote why I cannot solve this question. I didn't know the concept of generalized inverse back then. So I just wrote that. So if I try to solve this in a basic manner, this is the places where I am getting struck with. I just wrote that in the paper. And yeah, actually, you should do that. You should write whatever you are thinking about the problem in the paper. You don't know if that whether that would help or not. Obviously, that will not be a thing that would what hurt you in a bad way. Like what would happen? You would not get any marks in that question. But what can happen if you write an approach and whoever is checking that answer sheet sees that okay, he knows this or she knows this, that he can think this way, that would help. Maybe you would get some marks there also.
Yep. Yes. So I think we are totally focusing on this idea of showing and giving yourself out with passion. Okay, that only matters in ISM. So I can tell you for sure there are some certain exceptions, as Devoshi has always said. But I don't want you to fall in that category. So be a passionate, and that's what the way we preach about rather. Um, okay. So I think it's totally fine. What Deboshi has told. How did you manage your time during the exam? Do you want to say anything about it? Like there's some very cliche questions out there.
in ISI MStat, time doesn't matter. You have ample time. Like if you can solve those 6 questions, you would be able to do within those 2 hours only. And if you are not, you will not be able to do in next 12 hours also. Usually this is the case. But why I told write something, because I myself did this mistake. Like in this year, the question 3 part 1, I did it in my head but couldn't write it in the exam. So that was a very, very big regret I had till the day result came out. So write something, please. Please do it. Don't whatever if you, even if it's wrong, just write whatever comes in your mind. Just write it because I had a very big regret. Like it was just a linearity of expectation, and I couldn't write that on paper. But it had stuck in my mind at the last second of the exam. So yes, do that. And really, time is not a big issue in SI MStat exam for both
Yeah,
PSI
for
and
instead,
PSU.
I have never seen someone complaining that about time, like we had less amount of time. It's generally that you were sitting throughout the exam through most of the 2 hours. Like you cannot solve. That happens. But I've never seen anyone complain like, oh, if I had half an hour more or maybe an hour more, I would have solved everything. I have not seen such people till date. Maybe
Yeah.
I've seen.
I really love ISI due to this only single reason, the exams of ISI. So in ISI, when you get into ISI, you will have open book examinations.
Yes, we have, and
So I
those are very beautiful and very dangerous together.
yeah, there's a really beautiful works out there, beautiful, beautiful way of showing that how you should not, like, books are not there to help. So that's really beautiful. Yep. So I really love that aspect of ISI. Yep. I'm very okay, emotional about that. Okay, so I think yeah, these questions are very last ending before I move on to the doubts. Anything you want to say to your juniors that um, that you didn't follow yourself?
I would just like to mention one thing off my head. Don't fall into the trap of notes culture, so-called notes culture. Don't fall into the trap of that.
Yeah. So okay.
So
So
Notes are
what?
note,
good. I'm not saying that notes are bad, but you
notes.
should try to do things on your own. Notes are for your verification in a later stage. Notes are not for studying for the first time.
Like, yeah, notes are arranged in a nice
Hmm.
manner. I agree with everything. It are good to study, but you should make your own notes only for revision.
Hmm.
For the basic learning, try to follow at least one book, and if possible, more than one book. Since if you follow more than one book, your path of learning doesn't become one-dimensional. It is more spread. The spectrum is more spread, and that's what you need at ISI MStat. For the first years, especially, I would say that start from the very beginning of first year only. You will find things difficult, but okay. Uh, Gradually, you will see that yeah, I can do this. And from the first years only, even if you can't solve, just go through the papers of ISI. Like ISI concentrates on three things: basics, basics, and basics. It is not a plethora of knowledge that you need to know to give the ISI exam, but you need to know the basics very well. Like the toughest problem is from like classical probability, which you have learned in semester one. Like the toughest problem of mathematics is from say determinant or matrix, which you have learned in class 12, and which you have learned in fourth or fifth semester, inference or regression. That is not the tough problems. They are easier problems comparatively. So concentrate on the topics of semester 1, 2, and 3 mainly, because those are the things we tend to forget as we come to semester 6. But those are the most important things that build our foundation, and that is the most toughest part of ISI MStat exam, because the more they get to basics, the more questions get tough, the more you have to think.
Okay, perfect. Thank you guys for your beautiful passionate comments. That's what I can say. I totally agree with it. Yeah, so building your own notes is really good, and you have a sense of uniqueness, guys. I mean, you will follow someone else's path. That is not you, guys. Okay, I mean, I should say, and that is not you. That is someone else you're following. So
Yes.
that is not how you should lead your life in any moment. So that's why whenever someone asks me for notes, I should tell, um, no, don't follow me. Okay, so don't follow my path.
Uniqueness is what makes you complete.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, this is a statistical joke. Okay, so
Yeah.
I hope you understood that. Okay, so Rubel has this question. Yep. So please go ahead.
See, BStat is very much significantly different from other BSc courses. BStat is altogether on a different level. So no, not of BStat. See the syllabus of ISI MStat and only those things will suffice. Yeah, only the syllabus of ISI MStat only will suffice. Yes, but in each
Okay.
topic you should get to the as deep as possible in each topic, in each basic topic.
Yes. As of now, I don't know. Do you know any of people who are from engineering background in ISI?
Yes,
Uh,
like in 2020, the topper was, I think, Prem Anand. He's from engineering background.
oh, very good, very good. Okay, perfect. So yeah, so I hope I can bring him up. So let me talk to him. Yeah, if I can, I will talk like so that people can get a different perspective out there. Okay, so next question is that how to prepare for ISI MStat subjective paper. I think we have already told about that. It's all about practice, and yep. So that's it. Which book to prefer for multivariate?
This is a tough question. Like standing at this point, both of us will agree with T.W. Anderson, but that is not something to suggest in a BSc level
No, wait,
student.
wait. Multivariate is in ISI syllabus, or he's just asking for learning? Is
Okay,
it?
multivariate is not extensively in ISI syllabus. Oh, Aditya, he's our classmate. Oh, yeah, T.W. Anderson. For you, it's T.W. Anderson.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Aditya, for being here. If you
W. Anderson sounds like it's a tough book, but actually it is not. You can actually go through actually the initial first few pages are not tough. I have not read more than that from that book, but yeah, that is actually not tough. The only difference is this book just proves the theorem first, like it goes this, we do this and do this, and then it states the theorem. So that is an approach you would have to get your head around, and then TW Anderson is not a very tough reading for the initial few pages, I would say, and
yeah.
we won't read more than the initial few pages as
Yeah,
of
and for BSc guys to prepare, if you know want to uh, prepare for the things for that is in ITM or ISI MStat, you can see the basics of outline of statistical theory. You can any mathematical topic of statistics, you can see outline. It is reasonably good for each and every topic.
Okay, perfect. So there is this person. So I think I hope you have started preparing for IIT Jam. So the idea is that whenever you're studying preparing, don't focus on the exam too much. Focus on learning, as they have told, and that will automatically compound in your learning. Okay, so don't worry about that. Okay, so just start learning. Take a good book. Take some few good books that they have told, or whatever books they resonate with you, and start learning and start doing it. That's the only suggestion I think this we have today. Okay, I mean there's it's not very hi-fi, not something totally different that you can expect, but it's something very basic and very passionate. Okay, so last question that I have people, I think this question are btech, I don't know who is indeed, but yeah, NIT UG students
All
or
are allowed. ISI MStat is open to all now. See, from last year it is open to all.
yeah, from last year. So if you can
yeah, it's
crack
very
it,
democratic. Okay, perfect. So yeah, any other questions, guys, from live? Otherwise, we'll wrap it up. And I hope you enjoy the session. If you enjoyed it, do share your support. That's it. And also, you share it with your friends who are preparing for ISI or whatever, who are preparing to learn and enjoy mathematics and statistics and probability, whatever is out there. So, any other questions from you guys? We will give you around 10, 20 seconds to write the question down, guys.
And Sridhar, I think there is a question: is it an open book test or not? No, it is not an open book test. It is a closed book test.
Oh, acha, acha. We told about
Open book test happen in ISI. When you come to ISI and study here, there are open book exams.
but not every exam is open book. Some professors prefer open book exams. So, yeah, but
And
the entrance exam is obviously closed book. Closed books, closed notes. You can bring nothing to the exam center.
and
Pens.
there, how many questions do you attempt from PSB? PSB, there are around 8 to 9 questions. You have to attempt six. Like you can attempt as many as possible. Best six will be graded.
Yeah.
there's another question here. I don't think like we don't suggest this. No skipping of books. Just learn. Okay.
No, how can
So
we skip book? Because the material you are studying has came from some book only. So you cannot
yeah,
skip book directly.
I
yeah. Maybe
think
we misunderstood his question
I
or
can
something like that.
understand what he's trying to say, if I'm not wrong. I think he's just saying that maybe he's not finding a book easy enough. Maybe that can be a problem. Then you can start with some lecture series like Devoshi mentioned, and but eventually you have to migrate to some book. You have to read some book eventually.
Like
But you can
lecture
start
series,
with
yeah, lecture like the
lecture
lecture
videos.
series of Blitzstein, even from for non-stat people, even for arts, commerce people, you can if you can watch, they will understand it. The lecture is so beautiful. Like until like normal distribution to integrate that the stat people will understand, we need a gamma integral. But he didn't use that. He didn't at all use the concept of gamma integral until gamma distribution arrived. So that's a tremendous lecture series. That's a tremendous lecture series.
Yes, yes. So you can discover lecture series and you can suggest us in the comments if you discover something that we don't know. Okay, so that will be really learning and sharing the ideas that we have. Yeah, that's it. Other questions do you have? Yeah, Aditya, I think they understood your question and they've told that yeah, sorry, understood your question. So any
Okay,
other
so
questions, right?
if you can watch Blitzstein lecture series, based on the lecture series was so popular that based on the lecture series he wrote a book. So you can and PDF is probably available. I guess hard copy is also definitely available. You can see that book. Like if you watch the lecture series, it is like very good. If you read the book, that is very very good. But both things together are just outstanding. Both for Gilbertstein and Blitzstein, they are
Yes,
just
totally,
outstanding.
totally. Totally, totally. Okay, thank you guys for being on live, and yep, thank you for being here. Thank you guys, and a good night to all of you. Good night, Debushi and Sreejit, for and thank you for being here. I would try my best to get in touch with tech people who have actually prepared for ISI MStat because that's a much more different journey, and I will try my best to get in touch with them. And yep, thank you guys for being and live and supportive and asking questions. I will see you in the next video. Stay tuned and stay blessed. And yeah, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Whatever you do, you can do it if you have time. And yeah, bye bye. Bye bye. Yep. I will just end with some good music, rock music. Yep.